Hello, excuse me. Hello, good morning. We are gonna do some chair yoga today. So I think for this video, all we're going to need is just the chair. Excuse me, I have a little tickle in my throat. Yeah, so we'll do a little shorter version of yesterday. I decided that, excuse me, Dolly, who I wish would turn around and say hello to you in the camera. I thought she could be out and about with us since I'm not on the ground. So anyway, let's see. So to start with, we're just going to sit in the chair and let the feet come more or less underneath the knees, come up a bit off the back of the chair, and then allow your hands to rest on your knees with the palms facing down. And as we do, to begin, I like to close the eyes. You can close the eyes if you like to have the eyes open. You can have the eyes open, but allowing the attention to come inwards. So this attention coming inwards is of much lore in the yoga philosophy. It's kind of like, what do we find when we look inside? What do we find when we take the time to give the space to turn the attention inwards? And often what we find is this kind of rich inner life. And if we spend any time at all with this kind of rich inner life, we find that it's a driver, right? It's a driver of our life. So when we want to kind of understand the ways that we live and why we do what we do, the first step is to just let our attention come inwards and just over time, right? So it's kind of this little practice of identifying, witnessing, seeing. I'm going to do this really just gentle, subtle exercise to start. And it's just really simple on the breath. When you inhale, you turn the palms up. And when you exhale, turning the palms back down. And just like that, inhaling, the palms come up. And then exhaling, the palms come down. And more than kind of staying with my rhythm, it's finding your rhythm of turning the palms up and turning the palms down. Exploring what that's like to pay attention to the breath in that way, where you're coming full with inhale and empty with exhale. And we can explore a little bit of this idea of fullness, expansiveness, and then emptying and coming back to center. You can engage your Ujjayi breath with a little constriction at the back of the throat. And then when you're ready, just let the palms rest downwards. Let the chin come down towards the chest. Let the shoulders relax. And we'll bring the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And then we'll go right back to center and right over to the other side. And come back to center. And then lifting the head over the shoulders, release the arms down to the sides. Take a big inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. And as you exhale, drawing the hands down through heart center. And we'll do that twice more. So the inhale, the palms reach. And the exhale, down through the center line. And once more. This time we're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. As the hands come down, we'll let the fingers lace and the palms come behind the head. And it's like a little gentle press of the head into the palms. The elbows reach apart. We ground down into the sit bones. Get long through the back of the neck. So back of the neck reaches long, and it's just this lift up through the whole spine. As you feel the breath come in, you'll feel this gentle expansion. As the breath comes out, maybe you feel the belly coming in and the muscles of the exhale contracting. You can just let that happen a few times. And then from here, we're going to come forward into our child's pose. So for this first one, you might let the knees come towards each other. And we'll allow the head to come down wherever it does. So we're just rounding in. The hands can be on the feet, the legs. We're going to move a little bit. So on the inhale, we'll sweep the hands back and then turn the palms up and reach up and overhead, inhaling. And then the exhale, we're going to come all the way back down again, letting the hands, the fingers come to the ground or kind of curling in. And so a few like that, where we're just inhale, lifting, reaching, arms up and overhead. And then the exhale, oops, I forgot a hair tie. We'll come all the way back down again. Yeah, inhale, reaching up. Yeah, and exhale, folding forward. And you can turn that a little bit into some cat-cow. So as you come up, get an arch, the heart forward, reach the hands high. And as you exhale, you can pull the belly back and fold in. One more time. Inhale, reaching, lifting. Exhale, folding. Once you fold in, And give yourself a few more breaths, just kind of folding in. Yeah, and then just rolling back up, bringing the hands to the thighs. Let's go ahead and we'll turn towards the left, like we did before, where we let the knee come down towards the ground. And yesterday you asked me if the knee should be floating. I like a little bit, so a little bit of contact there would be nice. So you can put a sandbag under if need be. And take the right arm up towards the sky. You can hold on with the left hand to the back of the chair, and then we're side bending over towards the left. And if you can touch the knee, or even if the knee doesn't touch, you'll want to kind of like press down through the right knee, or kind of lengthen down through that knee. And then we're reaching up and over. You might, we didn't do this yesterday, but you might also choose to kind of look under that right arm, really relax the left shoulder, and then trace the eyes up the right arm all the way up to those fingertips, if that feels okay in your body. Yeah. And then we'll come all the way back down again. Just like yesterday, if you want to stay longer, you just pause the video or even just ignore me and rewind, or however you want to do it, right? Really make it right for you. But we'll draw that right knee forward and we'll sit kind of in the middle of the chair. So the sit bones will be kind of in the middle of the chair, so not too far to one side or the other. And then you can come with the feet kind of more or less underneath the knees. And we're going to take the right sit bone and bump it forward a little bit. And that's going to bring that right knee a little bit more forward, just like we did yesterday. And then we'll take the hands to the back of the chair. Excuse me for turning my back to you. And then it's a pull of the right hand and a push of the left and a reach of the heart tall. And first you can just start with the head kind of in neutral. So the head is not looking initially towards the left shoulder, but you're looking just neutral. So the head just looks wherever it feels most comfortable. And kind of let the twist be in the lower portion of the body first. So you can feel the sit bones, right? What's ever touching down on a ground down through that. So we start really practicing that, and as we practice, it gets those muscles of grounding down get stronger, and then you can find more and more lift up through the spine. And then when you're there, so you're inhaling, getting tall. Exhale, you keep the height, feel the muscles hug in, and then you might gently start to turn your head towards that back shoulder. And then we'll go ahead and release. We'll come facing the front of the chair. We're going to come into our wide-legged child's pose. So you can take your knees a little bit wider. And the hands can either hang on the outsides. Sometimes that feels good. You can also tuck them on the inside. So either way. And as best you can, let the back of the spine
arch, get round, and find all those little places that feel a little sticky, and just release. Yeah, and then we'll come
All the way back up. Unpause and feel. And then we'll come over to the other side. So knee can come towards the ground. I like to perhaps support it if it doesn't, you don't feel some sense of ground down that way. The back toes can be tucked or you can untuck, either way. We'll take right hand to the back of the chair and the left hand high. And then we're side bending over towards the right, really reaching down through the left knee, up and over, up and over. And once you kind of find where that works and you come to a point where you can still feel the movement of the breath, so we haven't gone to a place where we feel kind of rigid or stuck, you can look underneath the left armpit, right? So you kind of look forward and then trace the eyes all the way up, perhaps to the top finger. So really releasing right shoulder. And then we'll go ahead and release. And we'll take that bottom knee forward and first coming into like kind of a neutral pelvis. So we haven't shifted yet, but we're just sitting, right? Neutral on the chair, the feet more or less underneath the knees. And then we're gonna pick up left sit bone and step it forward. And that's gonna let the left knee come a little bit more forward. But the sit bones are still grounding down. So even though the hips shift forward, both sit bones still grounding down. And we'll take the back of the chair, again, coming in into an easy twist first. So we're not going 100% right away. And we breathe tall. So the inhale is this kind of expansion, lengthening. The exhale, we keep that, but the muscles just hug in. Can give a little pull with the left hand, a push with the right hand. The shoulders just way, way, way down out of the ears. So that's that work that we were doing when we were pressing the head against the wall and the shoulders were coming way down. And then as you're breathing, right, so you maintain the breaths, and at some point you can look towards that right shoulder, turn, turn, turn. Notice your level of effort here and see if you need to give a little more effort, if you need to soften a little bit. See which direction you're kind of tending and go the other just a little bit. Yeah. And then we'll go ahead and release, back center. And again, we'll pause here. Give yourself just a moment here. So we're going to move towards the warrior poses. Yeah. So we'll go over to the other side, and this time, so we've already done the lunging position, so we're a little bit more warmed up. Oh yeah, you might need your block here. I need a block, but I didn't bring one, so I'm just gonna makeshift. You find kind of this length through the back leg. And then we take the arms up and overhead. Yeah, and then there's that soft shoulders, right? So we're practicing the way that we can reach from the sideways. So you're pressing down into the feet, the legs are active, the arms are reaching. Back of the neck long. Feel the energy of this pose. So the more you kind of strengthen and lengthen the leg, press down into the feet, right? There's this warrior energy, right? There's this kind of wake up. And then we'll come out into our warrior two. And so we're turning, and you can adjust however you need to in the chair. So we want the pelvis, and I just looked at the HellerWorks today, and it's the ribs over the pelvis. So if I was over here, you can imagine my ribs are not so much over the pelvis, right? And so part of warrior two is this action, right? Is finding, even though my legs are asymmetrical, right? They're doing different things, I can be right down the center line. It's a little challenging for me right now because I'm not on the block, but you play in that direction, right? What's the muscle action that you need to get right over the pelvis? And then once you find that, you turn towards the front fingers. You can open up the shoulders and then just release the palms down. Really firm the legs. And then we'll go ahead and release and just soften back to center so you can pull back in. Maybe a little shift of the legs side to side. And then we'll go right over to the other side, yeah? So we were in our lunge position, so it's the same, right? When we're coming into warrior one, only the back leg starts to come longer, straighter. Our traditional warrior one, the back heel would be down, but we're gonna play with the back heel up today. So it's more actually like a crescent pose versus a warrior one. And then the arms come up and overhead and firming the legs, reaching the arms high, relaxing the shoulders. And at some point, practice lengthening through the back of the neck so that chin comes in just a little gently and get long through the back of the neck. Sense sit bones. See if you can put more weight in them, even though you're firming the legs. And then we're going to open out into warrior two. Yeah, so the back heel comes down. You can readjust in the chair however you need to feel. Hopefully we're feeling, or we're wanting to feel, both sit bones, right? Grounding into the chair. So if it means you need to adjust, put a block underneath, right? You're kind of finding, sometimes even coming to the front of the chair helps. And then we're releasing. Arms out from the shoulders. Yeah. Turn the shoulders up, roll them open, and then just the palms come down, look towards the front hand. Recommit to relaxing the shoulders way, way down out of the ears. Yeah. And then it's the breath. So this is a strong pose. The breath should be strong as well. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. And out. And then or release back forward. Yeah, feeling good. Okay. Let's let the hands come back to the legs, close the eyes, pause and feel, and just feel the effects of practice. We're going to practice a little bit of our sit breath here. We're going to hold on to the side of the chair and loop the shoulders onto the back body, and you're holding onto the chair, like kind of a little bit pulling up, like the arms are strong, the chest lifting, but the chin gently down so the back of the neck is long. As you inhale, we're going to go in through O, lips, lifting the right foot up, and S, the foot comes back down. Totally relax that leg. And then we continue just like that. So the O, inhale, as the foot lifts, you can point the toes, puff up the chest, S, all the way back down. Yeah, and remember when you O, inhale, that we're coming also up into the chest, even up into the neck with the breath. So it's we'll do one more, pointing the toes, lifting the foot. Yeah, release the hands to the legs and just feel. So for me, I feel the work in that hip. Yeah, feels maybe a little fatigued. And so then I can allow my attention to just be with the sensation, right? No judgment, just feeling. And then we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to hold onto the chair, feet more or less underneath the knees, pull gently onto the chair to puff up the chest. So that keeps the upper body, right, stable and stable. We'll say stable, yeah. And that stability creates a container for the breath, which is the most important part, right? So as we inhale, point the toes, O, inhale. Twice more. Hands on the knees, releasing. And lick the lips and swallow. And then we're going to see if Dolly will allow me to lay on the ground without totally trying to lick me to pieces. And we'll put the chair to the side. We're going to come down laying on our backs. So go ahead and find your way. Here she comes, Miss Trouble. When you come down onto your back, you just give a little hug of the knees into the chest. And you might give a little rock side to side. And you can bring feet back down to the ground, the arms wide out from the shoulders. Let the knees knock over towards the left. And when I do this, I like to give the top knee, the right knee, just this little tiny pulse up and down. And then, you're just letting the whole body rest down towards the ground. So just kind of giving this little release downwards. Can look towards the left hand and take the right arm up and overhead. We'll have just a moment here, just maybe 1 or 2 sit breaths. So when you breathe in through the mouth, it will be through the O if you'd like to. And the S breath, it's like a balloon deflating, so the whole body gets to just rest down, 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 down. Yeah, and then we'll just stay nice and soft in the body and roll over onto the back and pause here, letting the head be heavy, the shoulders be heavy. Sometimes the body likes to have like just little movements, like the head maybe wobbles a little bit side to side. Sometimes we want to adjust the shoulders, wiggle the jaw, wiggle the toes. Maybe even it's just a big breath in, easy, full, and releasing. And then we'll go knees over to the other side. So the heaviest legs you can muster, just super heavy. And then this little bounce to the top knee can sometimes feel helpful. Sometimes it just doesn't do anything. So you just see. I don't know if you can hear, but Dolly's making funny noises. And then we're going to look over towards the right hand. And we'll draw the left arm overhead. So we're just in this little variation of this pose. And if it feels good to do maybe 1 or 2 sit breaths, it's in through O lips, exploring the musculature of the inhale all the way from the low belly up through the chest and up even up into the neck. And then the S exhales like a balloon deflating. It's like, oh, everything, however much you can just give down, down, down into the earth and let whatever it is relax. And then you can, when you're complete with that, you can again roll onto the back, committing to being soft in the body. And we'll just gently hug the knees back into the chest, give a squeeze. Maybe lick the lips and swallow. And take an inhale. And when you exhale, maybe forehead comes in towards the knees, squeeze in. Make a tight, tight, tight little ball so everything just squeezes in. And then from here, from this tight little ball, we're going to come long. So we're going to reach in all directions. Long, long, long. And reach. Take a big inhale. And when you exhale, release the reach, release the body, stick out the tongue and have a little soft lion's breath. Yeah, we'll slide the hands down to the sides. Let's take just a little brief Shavasana here. We'll bring feet to the floor. So bending the knees. Bring one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly. And we'll rock over onto a side. You can let your head rest on your arm. And then we'll use the hands. We'll come back up to seated. If you want to sit on a bolster, you could find a bolster if you're comfortable sitting on the ground. We won't be here too long. And so taking your moment at the end of practice, again, to check in. This all-important relationship with what's inside. And also what intentions do we hold? So we'll bring hands to heart center. And one thing that stands out for me is your sincere intentions and your sincere effort into your practice. And so we're just going to take a moment of gratitude for this practice and for your efforts to come and practice in all the ways you can, and just acknowledging how beautiful that is. And we'll end our practice together with our wish that these benefits that we receive benefit not only ourselves, but all of those loved ones around us. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere know love and peace. Om Shanti, Om Peace. Namaste.